How's it going? Got new stickers. But currently the only way to get a sticker is to stay in our Airbnb in the bus. So, incentive to come on over to Olympia and hang out in the bus. Also, it's supposed to be like 95 degrees today in Olympia, and it's 3 o'clock. So, we are full heat of the day right now. So, if I start sweating, I've got a hanky. We've got the AC blasting in the back, and it's like 20 to 30 degrees cooler back there. So, if you are converting a school bus, temperature control is a big deal. Which brings me to the topic of today's video: mistakes we made while converting the bus. Cell phone for notes. I've actually already filmed this video once, and then we went on a trip with the bus, and I added more things we wish we would have done different for the bus, and so I have to refilm it in the heat of the summer. But I'm under the conviction that there is no wrong way to convert a bus, because it's a school bus. It's made for carrying children. So anything else that you're doing with it is just for funsies. It's just it's bonus. It's an extra life for this bus. So I mean, unless you burn it to the ground or it like is leaking water into it profusely, then you just do whatever you want. Throw your motorcycle in the back, drive your Mini Cooper up into it, put 17 beds in it, put no beds in it. Don't do anything to it. Just drive a school bus around as your daily driver. Do whatever you want. But these are some things, 10 plus, maybe 20 things that we would do differently if we're doing our second bus conversion, which we're not actually going to do for a long time. But I heard a quote the other day that you build your first house for your enemy, your second house for your friend, and your third house for yourself. So apparently this is a bus for our enemies. Welcome to our Airbnb, enemies. So I'm just going to kind of read through them and talk about them. I've got my trusty notebook here with all of our things. They're not regrets. Some of the things I've actually already fixed or am in the process of fixing. And so it's just things that could be better. I don't know. That's a really politically correct way to say it. Things we hate about our bus. Sweat wipe break. All right. Number one thing that we wish we would have had added to our bus is a fireplace. It gets freezing in the winter, and it also got moldy under the bed 2 winters ago because our little storage compartments are pretty much airtight, and there was an air gap underneath there, and we didn't insulate underneath. So like 3 things that made it moldy. But we spray foamed under the bed now, so there's no exposed metal, because we didn't do any framing under there. So we spray foamed under there, and there wasn't any mold this last winter. But to have a fireplace, it just really dries things out and prevents any mold. So I actually ordered a cubic mini stove. It's on its way, and so by September, October, it should be here. It's like 4 weeks delayed because of you know what. Our flooring, number 2, our flooring shrunk. It's the Luxe plank flooring we got from Amazon, and it's just got gaps in between it. I don't think we let it, it says to let it acclimate to its environment, but the bus temperature fluctuates so much that it just shrunk. So I guess we probably should have just left it out in the 90-degree weather before we put it in, but then in the winter it would have shrunk. So I got some like flooring caulk that I'm going to try to fill the cracks with. But our flooring, if we would have done real hardwood, maybe it wouldn't have shrunk. I don't know, or just one sheet of laminate. I don't know. Flooring, could have done that better. Our bathroom sink drain doesn't drain because it doesn't have a bleeder hole, an air hole on it. So it just fills with water. You want to get a sink that has an air hole at the top. So we bought a new sink that has an air hole, but I also, underneath the sink, just turned down the water a little bit so it doesn't fill up so fast, and that seems to be working for now. Sink. Watch out for those sink holes. You gotta be careful. Pee bucket. Pee bucket was the worst, but we fixed that. You had to empty the pee bucket, the Nature's Head toilet. Ugh. You get like 20 good peas out of it. How many gallons? It's like a gallon? It's probably not 20 peas. 10 peas. You gotta dump it. And when you're renting it out, or when you let a high schooler stay in it, then they forget to dump their pee, and that's gross. That is the biggest, grossest thing that we've had to deal with in the bus, is the pee bucket overflow into the poop bucket, causing a disaster. So I modified the pee bucket. There's a link to that video somewhere up there. Our inverter, we blew up our inverter 16 times. We had like a 4,000 watt pure sine wave inverter. We killed 3 or 4 of them, and I kept killing them before the month-long Amazon thing expired, so I just kept sending them back, and I was like, it's broken. And they're pretty cheaply made. Not many of the ones that we got were good, so I'll put links to the bad ones. And then I also have one that I want to get. We're totally plugged in. We're only on the grid now because I got frustrated with inverters. We've got 4 deep cell batteries under the bus that are just on a trickle charge float right now, but we killed a bunch of inverters. So it was from the AC. You can't run AC off of batteries, or maybe you can. We couldn't do it. It was sucking too much energy and it kept blowing stuff up. So be careful with your air conditioning and your batteries and that situation. It is an energy sucker. The length of the bus, regret number, who cares? 17. This is a huge bus. It's 40 feet long. And we can't go into the Olympic National Park with it. We can't park it where we were planning to go. So do your research. And if you have a national parks tour planned, school buses, you're going to have to stay at like a park nearby the actual park. Because 40 feet is pretty long for national parks. They were built before big old RVs were a thing. So bus is a little scary to drive, a little long. It's perfect for an Airbnb. It's huge in here. 2 people just hanging out for the night. It's awesome. But driving it is scary. So not scary. I got used. Driving it's fine. Finding places to park it is a little more work. The length of the bus, it's not that huge of a deal now. Since I wrote this, I kind of figured it out. But if 40 feet's tough to drive, go rent an RV for a week and try it out, or come stay in our bus. Actually, you can't stay in our bus. You can't drive it, so that wouldn't help. Never mind. The length of the bus. The zippers for the cushions. Hold on. How's my hair? Good. All right. The zippers under the cushions. I think I talked about this in our cushion video. Did I talk about it in our cushion video? We put the zipper on like the wide part of the cushion instead of the narrow part of the cushion. Zipping it here and pulling it out that way would have been way easier instead of trying to like fold it out. So we ripped our cushions. They're kind of wrinkly. I don't know if you can tell. Heavier, dutier zippers and a better spot for the zippers, or maybe like latches or buttons or something. I don't know. Our cushion situation, we could have done better. Our bedroom storage, we could use more storage in there when we're living in it. We have the slidey underneathies that are fine, but they're really long, hard to reach stuff. And then we have the side buckets. we don't have names for any of these things. That's only good for buckets of books, nothing else. And then we have one shelf up high. So like maybe more shelves along the upper side would have been cool. We didn't really do any storage in here. But it's perfect for an Airbnb because you don't need to move in. You're just staying. Our backup camera broke. I don't know. I fused it wrong or wired it wrong or something. So it just sits there and does nothing now. I wish I would have run some more 12 volt like lights or something. Like right now we have a USB charger for our phone, and that's the only 12 volt thing that runs off of the batteries. Because the bus originally had like all of these lights in it and speakers and a radio, and I just ripped it all down like a caveman, like a gorilla. And now I'm wishing maybe I had some speakers in the bus or lights at least when we're not plugged in. If our inverter worked, then we could have lights while we're not plugged in. But I blew up our inverter. I'm not an electrician. The moral of this story, people have watched our YouTube videos and be like, man, that's not how you're supposed to do it. And I know, I don't know what I'm doing. I should have said that in every video. It's like, we're just figuring this out. Like, we do not know what we're doing. So, full disclaimer for every video I've ever made. This is videos of how we did it, not how you should do it. Our countertops. We could have done more lacquer on them. The plywood around the sink is kind of bubbling up. But it's fine for an Airbnb. You just have to wipe it up every time it gets wet. So it's kind of a regret. Maybe just do like the IKEA does cool countertops. I just saw they do like butcher block. You get 6 feet wide for like a couple $100, which is more than the plywood ones were, but not by too much. The door, the big door here, the air door, front door, the only door, has a bunch of gaps like along the bottom. So I got some like big foam chunks to put in there to try to keep it cool and not hot, or hot when it's winter. I probably should have just like welded the middle part, you know, like people do, and then it cuts all the gaps out, or like put a real door. I don't know. The door situation, we didn't do a good job on the door. The air conditioner in the back, can you hear it? We put it right over our heads on the bed, which is just annoying. I don't know why I thought to do that. To turn it on and off, you have to jump on the bed, crawl on the bed to turn it off and on. I thought maybe there'd be a switch for it. There's not. And it blows straight on your face. So if you're like a fan straight on face kind of person, that's great. But the AC like a little centered of the bedroom would have been cool. And a second AC. You know, if you look at most RVs that are 40 feet long, they have 2 air conditioners. So I could have used another one right here for like this very moment. And then when you're plugged into 50 amps, you just crank them both and then you're good to go. A shelf in the kitchen. Our kitchen has very little storage as well. I want a shelf up on this side. I'm gonna do that later. I'm gonna build some storage just for like spices, forks, and things. I don't know. The electrical under the bus is a mess. Like we just have wires hanging down into a plug, into another plug, into another plug. We never got that clean. It's not very organized. I wish I would have organized that. Some parts of the flooring or the baseboards down here, I did with finish nails. And so all the places I used finish nails are kind of popping out because the bus goes like this, whoa, when we go off-roading. And so to use screws as much as you can. That's what I'm trying to say. Use screws in the bus, not finish nails. The finish nails that are kind of on this wood stuff, like these, they haven't popped out yet. But anything that's like on the walls has bowed real bad, popped out. Let's see, screws. Ooh, for while I'm driving, I actually got this, a cup holder. Cup holders are sweet. And then an iPhone holder. I got like a suction cuppy one that hangs out really far and goes on the window. Because I was like looking down at my leg for my iPhone, which is not safe. And I was holding cups in my crotch to try to stay hydrated. So I got a cup holder and I got an iPhone thing, so now I can drive hands-free, distraction-free, full speed ahead. Oh, I want to put a rooftop deck on this. That's just for fun. I don't know. I don't do any welding though, so that was how I don't know if you can do it without welding. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it soon though. Roof deck. We need curtains in front of the front windshield. We just didn't do that. I don't know why we didn't do that. We have like the flippy outy things. Just reflectors. Yeah, they're called reflectors. But they're fine. But it'd be a little classier, less RV-ish to have a real curtain, or less. Yeah. Do RVs have curtains? I've never been inside an RV. I don't know. It would be nice to have air conditioning while we're driving. I don't know how I would do that. That's beyond me. So if you know how to put in an air conditioner while driving, shoot me a message. I'd love to know. We need curtains over this door too. We also need tinting. I bought some tinting for the windows because I got like a crazy like upper thigh sunburn while I was driving because it was like beating on me. And so I got some tinting to put in. I also am building screens to screw on the outside because the screens going in the middle are kind of annoying. I made a video of how to do the screens, and they're fine. I made them the same way, I just made them bigger and screwed them on the outside. So sweet. Let's see. I think that's it. I tried to do a modification to make the bus drive faster. That was one of my buddy's uncle-in-law, cousin-in-law, works on diesel engines. He's like, dude, we could give this thing some horsepower. So we got all the parts, and the spring was too short, and the knob was the wrong shape. So we got like pretty far into the bus and had to put it all back together. But it'd be cool to climb the hills a little faster. That's not really a regret. That's just a bus. That's how buses are. So I think that's all. I hope the videos that we make help you guys do your conversion. I hope this video retroactively, hope you haven't done any of those videos yet. Hi, how's it going? Are you checking?